So I've been a Batman fan for a very long time now. I didn't really read the comics because I didn't really like the comics that I've read before from other superheroes. It wasn't the medium for me. But I always liked the live action movies, except the Schumacher ones. And I liked the games, of course, from Rocksteady. But way before that, the ones that I was really into were the animated movies, because they were always pretty good to really good. And one of those movies was Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And I have had that movie for the longest time on DVD. And me, along with lots of other fans, really wanted the Blu-ray version of that movie, but Warner Brothers never released one. Probably they didn't think it would give them enough money. But I wanted one so badly that I even tried to upscale it myself and tried to remove the noise, but it never really looked all that great, so I just stick with watching the DVD version. But now Warner Brothers finally made the Blu-ray version. They released it under Warner Brothers Archive, and you could only get it in America, so that was a problem for me. So I imported it through a seller through eBay. It was the only way for me to get the Blu-ray disc, but I'm very happy that I got it. I'm not gonna do a review of the movie itself. The movie is almost 23 years old. I guess you've already seen the movie, and if you haven't, there are many reviews online that show you why you must watch this movie. But for me, I will just look at the Blu-ray edition itself. So first off, when you have a look at this disc, pretty much the same artwork as the DVD. The backside, the placement of the pictures are a little bit different. And they added a quote from a review, but for the rest it's the same text. And I've always had a problem with this text. If you haven't seen the movie, don't read the backside, because it gives you a spoiler, and a pretty big one, and you won't recognize it when you read it and you haven't seen the movie. But while watching it, you will already know who the Phantasm is because of this text. So I will just say don't read the backside. But yeah, overall there isn't much you can see on this box itself. But what is very different is the content. As soon as you put this in your Blu-ray player, you come into the main menu, which is just a static menu. I always like the motion menus, but Warner Brothers rarely does that. Extras on this Blu-ray disc aren't really there. There is a trailer, that's it. So it's just the movie. But when you start to play it, you get an option to watch it in 16:9, which is the theatrical version. That is also the DVD version, at least on my DVD copy. And you also have the 4:3 television version, because this movie was also made to release on television. So they made two versions. So the big difference is, of course, 4:3 is letterbox, but you get more things that you can see in the scene. Although it never really becomes a problem where stuff is cut out, because it is made for 16:9 in mind. So for example, here I have the Evil Dead DVD, which also has the 4:3 version of it, but the Blu-ray over here that released only has the 16:9 version, and because of that a lot of stuff is cut out because it was made by 4:3. Luckily this movie doesn't have that problem. So yeah, you can watch it in both, it's just which one you prefer yourself. The video quality is pretty good, and the audio quality is also really good. It's a new DTS master. The one thing that I don't like is that it is still stereo. They haven't made an sampled mix, they haven't made a surround sound mix, which is a little bit disappointing, especially if you consider that in France the movie released on DVD with a 5.1 mix on there. The French mix, not the English one, so they still would have made a new one if they would do it in English. But that was a little bit of a disappointment. But the movie itself, as I said, the video looks great, but what's really impressive is the recoloring. They have redone a lot of scenes with color correcting, and they look so much better. Some scenes even feel like a different movie in a good way. And also they removed lots of grain. There is still lots of grain in the picture as well. Of course, you can't expect them to remove everything, but it isn't bothersome. But before I watched the movie, I heard some people say it had soft scenes in it, which is basically that it looks blurry, that the outlines aren't very hard. So what I expected was that the scenes that were blurry on the DVD were these scenes that they were talking about. For example, when Bruce Wayne for the first time meets Andrea's father, and when her father looks up from his desk, that scene was always very blurry on the DVD too. And yeah, those are still blurry, but there are also some other scenes where it just doesn't look like it is uprest. So the lines, the outlines are just the same effect when you have a lower resolution file. They are actually in 1080p, but they aren't as hard looking. So the edges are a little bit soft. And there are quite a lot of scenes that have it. But still, even with that problem, it does look better than the DVD. So yeah, for me, this is just the best version. There were 3 scenes in particular that I always really liked from the movie. And now seeing them again in this quality with the redone coloring, I got goosebumps. Like literally, I got goosebumps. And yeah, that was it's very cool. So just for that, I want to have this Blu-ray. Also, especially if you live in America, it isn't expensive at all. It's $18 from the store. And yeah, for me, I had to import it. I had to buy it from eBay, but even I only spent €21.50. So I think this is a really good deal. They didn't make it very expensive because it's a limited release, luckily. So yeah, I would highly recommend you buy this movie if you like the original Mask of the Phantasm. And if you don't, I still think it's a pretty good gamble. If you look it up, you will see that many people say this is the best Batman movie ever made. So yeah, I think you can't go wrong. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you all next time. Bye!